news. A person has died and multiple others have been left injured after severe turbulence on a flight from London Heathrow.
Yes, well, joining us now for more is GB News Home and Security editor Mark White. Mark, I understand this was a flight from London Heathrow to Singapore. What do we know?
Well, yes, this was a flight, the late evening flight that left from London Heathrow Airport bound for Singapore last night, and as it neared its destination, we believe somewhere over the Bay of Bengal, it hit severe turbulence, we think related to thunderstorms in that area. As a consequence, the aircraft, rather than continuing on to Singapore, made an emergency landing at the nearest airport, which was the international airport in Bangkok. You're looking at images we've obtained that purport to show the inside, the interior of that aircraft, and you can see items that have just been strewn around because of the severe turbulence inside that aircraft. There is also, which you can't quite see from there, towards the top of the image, a blanket that is covering, we understand, the body of a passenger who succumbed to their injuries as a result of being thrown around the cabin. 20 others at least have been injured as a result of what is not unknown. I mean, injuries through turbulence are known. They happen from time to time. However, it is very rare indeed for there to be a fatality on commercial airliners as a result of turbulence. Since 2009, about 150 people have been seriously injured as a result of turbulence during flights on commercial airliners, but no one has died since 2009. There have been fatalities in non-commercial airliners related to turbulence that has brought down those aircraft. You're looking there at shots on the ground at the international airport in Bangkok with a fleet of ambulances lined up to evacuate the injured from that Singapore Airlines. It's a 777-300, the larger variant of the 777 jumbo jet.
Now, Mark, this was a flight going from London to Singapore, two highly developed cities in highly developed countries. A lot of wealth, a lot of technology. It's surprising, frankly, that it would happen on this route.
Yes, I mean, especially Singapore Airlines, you know, that is their home turf. They are more than aware of what the potential flying conditions are like in that area. I've been speaking to a very senior aviation source, a contact of mine, who tells me that particularly around the Bay of Bengal, that area, it is notorious for turbulence from thunderstorms, and thunderstorms that can pop up very quickly. There's two types of turbulence really that an aircraft will encounter. There's clear air turbulence, which you get no warning about at all. It happens very high altitude, often caused by the jet streams of other aircraft, where an aircraft can suddenly plummet many feet in the space of just a second or two, and that can cause injuries because there's no warning. Then there's a turbulence that comes from storm activity. That's the one that weather radar should be able to point out. But this aviation source has also been telling me that there are known issues with the weather radar on the Boeing 777 aircraft, the 300 variant. So not the 777-200, but with the 300 variant, the variant that will have been used in this particular occasion. And that relates to the weather radar settings, which on automatic can sometimes give misreadings. So a pilot can see ahead that there might be thunderstorm activity that could be producing potential turbulence. But when they get closer to that event, it suddenly turns out that that was a misreading and there is nothing. And the opposite is also true, that on occasions it does not show up some turbulence. In fact, this source told me that he once got into significant difficulties because the radar ahead was showing that there was no thunderstorm activity of any consequence, but then when he got on top of it, clearly there was. So there are some issues that are known about by pilots in the industry. We'll have to wait until the formal investigation to determine whether this was an issue, a weakness in the radar systems on board the 777-300.
Yes.